this era, and this is my second ASMR video. Now, in my last and also first video, some of you guys requested slash suggested I try some sounds, so that's what I'm going to do today. Now, I have no clue what order I'm going to do any of this in, so once I'm done, I will leave it in the comments. Okay, to start out, one of you requested I do some hair brushing. Now the problem is, the first time I did it, I tried it out, but you could barely hear it, and I have the sensitivity, like the gain of my mic amped up to like the max, so I can't do anything about that. So what I'm going to do instead is brush my hair, but with my nails. How about that? I also feel like it sounds much better, with this mic, because this is like actually not a proper ASMR mic, which I want to get at some point to say vocal mic for recording vocals. Anyways, let's get started. I'm first going to take off this ear cuff, which is actually pretty, I think. It sort of like gives me Alien, the movie vibes. Okay, now let's actually get into the deal. Also, by the way, guys, I feel like I am sort of wired today, like more than usual. I don't know if it's because I took too much coffee in the morning or what, but like, yeah, I feel like I'm being too fast with my speech and stuff, so I'm sorry about that. As you can see, my hair is pretty damaged. I have bleached it several times, and also I've done it myself. Like, I didn't go to a salon. That's why it's like pretty uneven. Like, it's pretty blonde in some parts, but orangey in others, and it's a bit of a mess. Also, like this part in front, it's pretty straight, but if you go to the back, it's wavy. Like, yeah, it has this like wavy pattern. So that's another thing. And I feel like if I hadn't bleached my hair and actually took care of scratching slash brushing, and we're going to go into the next trigger. And the next trigger I have is on the floor. It's these shoes from Swear London. And isn't this like the coolest shoe you've ever seen? Well, I lie. There's a shoemaker brand called Anthony Wong. And they also make British shoe. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with my language today? They make like Gundam inspired shoe designs, and they are amazing. Anyways, these shoes, I actually got them to use in like photo shoots and slash or a music video, but I haven't used them yet because I used to make music. Well, technically I still do, but it's been like 6 months since I've done or posted anything. So yeah. And I bought them for that because like my whole artist aesthetic, so to say, is like futuristic. So that's why I got these shoes. And also because I really like them. Like I'm really into like the whole cybercore, cyberpunk worlds, And yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, that's why I got these shoes. They were really expensive and I don't want to wear them outside because I will ruin the sole and they will no longer be useful for photo shoots. And also like, yeah, they were pretty expensive. They were 300 either pounds or euros, which I realize there are shoes that cost way more, but for me that's expensive. Coincidentally, and funny enough, I think they are pretty good. Pretty good for ASMR because they have so many different textures and stuff. Like, you have this bit right also, guys, since I'm very new to this, I would like you to tell me, what do you prefer? Do you prefer like whisper ramble layered with sounds? So like for me to talk while I do triggers, or like, you know, mix like whisper ramble, talk about stuff, and then do the triggers without speaking, so to say. What do you guys prefer? Anyways, do you want a story time? Not really that interesting, but did you guys know that I owe the Spanish government 7,000 euros? What about that? So in Spain, when you go to university, it's not free. Free. Unlike well, obviously it's not the same in like as in the US, because like that's crazy expensive. In Spain, you still have to pay, but it's much less. Anyway, public university in Spain is around like 5,000, 6,000, I think maybe 7,000, depending on the degree and stuff. But to pay for that, you have aids from the government, which is not a loan. Like, they are aids that the government gives you, and they are yours. You don't have to give them back, unless we're getting there. So yeah, so I applied for one of those, and they gave it to me. And besides paying for the degree itself, they also gave me extra cash for like accommodation, and like, because I lived at the time in the Canary Islands, but the university I applied to was in mainland Spain, so they gave me money for that as well, like for the, you know, travel, so to say, like, and a bunch more. I don't know, like, I don't remember exactly what for, but that amounted to, you couldn't have a better gesture than this, like sort of like Pink Floyd vibes, you know, money, get away, you know. And anyway, that amounted to 7,000 euros, and everything was fine and dandy until in fourth grade. I came to the conclusion that I no longer wanted to be there, and I was studying chemical engineering at the time, which, no shade, but I really did not like, because like I was sitting there and I was thinking, what am I doing with my life? Like, literally, because like this is not what I want to do at all. Like, we were learning about like petroleum and like sewage and pipes and stuff like that, and I realized that there are people that like it, or like, I don't know, find it motivating or whatever, or just don't care. But like, for me, I initially wanted to do physics or chemistry, but I couldn't get into any one of those when I applied to uni. One thing. So I got accepted into that chemical engineering degree. I'm getting off the rails here, but I got accepted into that chemical engineering degree, which was in Galicia. And the day that I signed, like, the contract for the room that I was staying in, that's the day that I got a call from Salamanca, from University of Salamanca, asking me if I was still interested in their chemistry program. The literal day that I signed, which, like, if you guys don't know, Salamanca is like in another autonomous community, you know. So I would have to move across Spain. Anyways, so the day that I signed, and at that point I told them no. subjects like organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and like stuff like that. But in years 3 and 4, there was no more chemistry. So that was really demotivating to me, and I didn't, like, I was just sitting in class thinking, what am I doing with my life, you know? And yeah, basically one day in fourth grade, in the 4th year of my university journey, we had to do a group project, and I really felt like I wasn't giving my part, and I don't know, I sort of like ended up having a mental breakdown, and I was like, I no longer want to be in this degree. Like, it's not what I want to do with my life. I don't see this going anywhere, and I also like, I'm bad at this, and I'm also like letting this other person down, and it was just like a bunch of things. So I just had like many mental breakdown, and left degree. Now, remember I told you that you could keep the money? Well, it's except you can't keep it if you pass a certain amount of subjects, which I did not since I left. So now basically I have to give it back. And they just know, like 6 months after I left is when they notified me. Like, it was at the beginning of this month. And now I have to go and ask them to let me split it into smaller payments, which they usually let you do, because I don't have 7,000 right now, you know. So yeah, I guess that was it. I guess the moral of the story is don't drop out. Well, I mean, no. Actually, I am happy that I dropped out, because now I'm actually starting a math degree online that I actually like. I moved cities to a city that I actually like. I'm starting Olympic weightlifting, which I actually like. And it's just like my life got much better, even though I have that debt, you know. My life is that much better because, like, I can pay it off, you know, by working and stuff. So yeah, do drop out. But if your parents asked or whatever, I didn't tell you that. But I mean, I don't know. Don't take life advice from me. Like, I'm the last person you should take life advice from. Okay. Anyways, we've done so far hair scratching, fabric slash hand triggers. We've done the shoe, and next we're going to play a little game. I am going to draw a letter on the microphone, and you are going to tell me what letter it is. Okay. Was that A, B, an M, or a C? I'm going to do it again for you, but don't look though. If you guessed B, you are correct. Okay, let's do another round. Did you get it? I'm going to do it again. Okay, was that an M, an A, or a D? An M, an A, or a D? If you guessed A, you are correct. Okay, shall we do one last round? Okay, I'm going to draw the letter now. is this book in Chinese. It says Kalti. Sorry for my pronunciation. Any Chinese person or person that properly speaks Chinese, I apologize. I got this from Barcelona right around the time that I had the mini mental breakdown. I went to an open mic in Barcelona to perform. Like, I went from Galicia to Barcelona to perform at that open mic. That was a bit too much, I think. Anyways, I went there, and the date that I arrived was the date that the open mic was happening. But I arrived early, and the open mic was at night, so I decided to make the most of my time, and I went and visited La Sagrada Familia, which is this huge cathedral they are still building. And I also went and visited Casa Patio, which is a house that used to be owned by the Patio family, if I remember correctly. And so anyway, we did a tour. The house was like, well, Casa Patio means house patio. And the house was really pretty. And anyways, we did a tour, and at the very top you have like a souvenir store. At the time I was learning Chinese, so I saw this and I was like, there's literally no better thing that I can get, obviously, than this book in Chinese to practice my Chinese reading. Not a good idea, because actually, like, my Chinese is super like basic, and I cannot understand anything. Like, I understand like one word that is like bleep, you know, like building bleep, and then I don't know, like wind or whatever, you know. Like, I understand certain characters, but I have a hard time grasping the concept. Anyways, the book is really pretty though. Like, I'm sure if I actually spoke Chinese, I would find this really entertaining. As you can see, it shows off the buildings. And yeah, it explains about them. And if you speak Chinese, this is interesting. Okay. I think that was about it for that. I'm sorry if I'm rushing things a bit, because besides being a bit worried today, I've been like looking at the clock, and I've been filming for like a half an hour now, and I'm a bit worried about making this video too long, because I am starting out, and I don't know, I feel like I will bore you. And I was like, if what I've done so far didn't make you fall asleep, that sure did. Which, if you guys want, I could actually do that one day. So, like, if you want a math or science part ASMR, I'm all here for it. Also, say hi to Roger, my dinosaur. Okay, I think that was it. I think I'm going to end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really grateful to have you here, and I hope I helped you sleep a bit, or at least kept you entertained. I'm still very new to this, so any suggestions are greatly appreciated. And yeah, I would really like to know what I could improve or do better, because that's what I'm here for, for you. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.